Yes, yes.
I'm almost doing that.
It's not really a birthday party, it was more of a celebration for another member. They wanted to know if he was the oldest, and I told him no. I told him we had somebody else that was 93. I bet you were older than you are. Please come to order. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
If you can hear me clearly, raise your hand. Okay. I think we're going to need to turn off at least one of the fans if you're going to hear me. Okay, if you can hear me clearly now, raise your hand.
Getting better.
I'm reaching the back.
Better.
See, I actually learned stuff over the summer. If you want to communicate, you have to be heard. Okay. This is meeting number 172 of TMG, the MAC group. Tom, would you turn off the fan, please? Just while I get started. First thing I'd like to do is introduce some of the people that help stuff happen every month. First, I'll introduce myself. I'm Bill Herrick. I'm the TMG Dayton Apple Evangelist. That means I'm out there. That means, yeah.
What's up?
That means that I'm the person who's out there grabbing people, strangers, saying, hey, you know, Macintosh, good thing. Another individual who serves a very important function in the group is Mr. Thomas Kurtner. Mr. Kurtner, raise your hand. Mr. Kurtner is in charge of our membership and membership issues. He's also the person who usually hands out the goodies, if they're not raffle items. The gentleman in the black tee next to him, what does your tee say this year?
It doesn't.
Oh, just a black tee, okay. That's Mark Cobb. He is our leader, our president, the great one. And the gentleman with the camera is our other Mark, is Mark Georges. And he's the one who's documenting all this stuff for the Attorney General's office. And in the very last row in the orange t-shirt is Mr. Bennett, who is our liaison with Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. And he plays a very vital role in that he lets me know when the secretary has made a mistake and they have a wedding scheduled in here instead of us, so that we can not have to try and do it during the wedding. So they usually don't get thanked, and since this is our first meeting for the year, I just think, you know, a handful of applause for these coordinators. Okay, now, I know we have at least one guest, so I'm going to run through what we do here. So let's do a run through of the agenda. The agenda of the meeting is typically the same every month, and we meet 10 months a year. We take a break off during the summer. We start out with our welcome to, actually we start out with our good morning, where I play games with the crowd about there not being loud enough. Then we do a welcome to an agenda run through, and then we do a welcome to our guests. That's where we ask our guests to stand up and introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about themselves and what brought them here. Then we go into news and events, if there's been any new things going on in the Macintosh community. After that, we normally do a for sale or wanted. The people have brought things in that they want to give away, or they have things that they want to sell, or they're looking for things. After that, sometimes we do an employment section. Sometimes we are approached by employers looking for Macintosh-related skilled people. Then we usually have our help desk, which is where we handle problems that have happened over the last month or over the summer. And then we normally have a raffle. We don't have a raffle this month because we just don't have any goodies this month. After all of that business, which normally takes about 15 minutes, we have a break. And we break after that break, that biological break. And by the way, let me just mention in terms of facilities, restrooms. This is something I always forget to mention to people, and it's important. If you want a men's and a ladies that's easy to get to if you're handicapped, if you go back down this hallway that you came through and you continue into the sanctuary and make an immediate right. There's ladies and a gents there. We also have a ladies' room that's on this floor, right down this hallway on the right, and there's a men's room one floor down below, directly under where the ladies are, so you know where the restrooms are. Okay, after that break, what I call the biological, then we break up into two groups. Typically, we have a main presentation here, and we have in that back corner, sort of in its own little nook, the novice group. Presentations are typical PowerPoint presentations about a wide variety of topics. Usually something that you don't know anything about, but don't ever let that bother you at the TMG, because we want to stretch your envelope a little bit and have you encounter things that you haven't encountered before. The novice clinic is where you can, in a nice, secure, low-key, very supportive atmosphere, ask those questions that you think are really dumb. And get a response and not be treated as if you're dumb. Okay? At our heart, at our base, TMG is really a school. And when you matriculate in a school, they don't expect you to know everything. You're only supposed to know that when you graduate. Okay, any questions about how we do stuff at this point? So I'm going to go ahead and start running through the agenda. Okay. I have Rich Gray is visiting us today. Okay. Rich, you want to stand up for just a minute and tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do with the MAC or don't do with the MAC?
This is my second visit. I visited once
Okay.
last year sometime, so now that some responsibilities have fallen away, maybe I'll even show up more often and maybe become a member. So I have an old iBook G3 800, and I just generally use it for surfing around and stuff. I have dreams of doing some video transfer things along the way, but obviously I need more power for that, which I learned after doing my sister's wedding. It took 36 hours, which is not nice to have your portable locked in place. And also, just while I'm asking, if anyone knows anything about syncing an LG, connecting up an LG cell phone to a Mac, I'd pull me aside and tell me some magic.
Do you mind if I ask what you do for a living?
I'm a programmer, Unix programmer.
Okay. And you work for a local company? Or?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes, I work for Digital Controls in Miamisburg.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Everybody say hi.
Hi.
Do we have any other guests here today? You paid your dues, didn't you? You paid your dues, right? Okay. Okay, then you're not a guest. You're a member. Okay, moving right along. We did the welcome. Now we're going to do news and events. Has anybody noticed there was earlier in the week, there was this event that Apple held out and all these people got incredibly angry with Steve Jobs. Okay, here's the question. Why were all these people angry with Steve Jobs? Okay, and what was the terrible thing he did?
$200.
He reduced the price. Isn't that amazing? Anybody else reducing the price of a product, people would say, wow, that's great.
Not
So-
after you bought.
Okay. And what did he do to make them feel better?
If you bought it in the last 15 days, you get $200 back. If you bought it before that, you get $100 and gift certificates to a Mac. Apple Store.
Okay. Now, what was the whole purpose of this iPhone thing? To
New
get
iPods.
people into the Apple stores.
Did you read the article by Cringely?
No.
Robert Cringely, very well-known tech writer in the industry, and he did the Triumph of Nerds thing a couple years ago. He's pretty well-known in that area. He wrote a very interesting article yesterday or the day before talking about how, in his opinion, because he's worked with Steve Jobs, Jobs planned it this way all along. He always planned on putting it $400. He always planned on charging the extra $200 just to get the extra money, and then offering the extra $100 back with always planned, saying, you know, first off, he still gets the first $100 that he's not refunding. The $100 he's getting back is automatically going to be A, not spent by the customers, or they're going to spend it at his own stores. And they're not going to spend $100, they're going to spend $200 or $300.
You know, that's positively Machiavellian.
That's an interesting take on it.
It's
And
a marketing genius.
Well, that and he got interest on that money that he had.
I just wondered. Something that Episcopalian usually says. I see we have another guest. I'm going to just introduce him. This is Jeff. You want to just introduce yourself to the folks?
Jeff Gunnerman, I work with Bill.
Say hi.
Hey there.
You missed the part where we do the welcome, where we welcome our guests, and that's why I'm, ambushing you. Okay. What else did they do besides get all those people upset by reducing prices on the iPhone?
New iPods.
New iPods. Do we have anybody that wants to tell us about the new iPods?
No.
No? Okay. Well, basically, they're all cool, they're all neat, and I'm trying to convince my family members that already own iPods that they got iPods. But stick with what they got for now. Yes,
Could
Don?
you please convince the public library to make it accessible for iPods to be able to do max download?
Funny you should mention that. September 11th is when the trustee meeting is for Centerville Washington Township Library, and I intend to be at the meeting to ask them some questions about their ebooks and that. It'll be interesting. Plus, I'm interested in maybe serving on their board at some point. Let's see, what else has been going on?
I work.
Say again?
I work.
iWork and iLife got upgraded and released, and we're going to try and get some presentations done on those fairly quickly. I haven't played with the new member of the iWork family, the Numbers program. I've got one person giving me thumbs up, two people giving me thumbs up, and I got one saying thumbs down. Okay, but one of the issues that was brought up, and I just want you to start thinking about, is meeting topics. We've already got some set up for the year, but one of the issues that has been brought up is the whole thing about what should I be using as my business suite? Should I be using Microsoft Office? Should I be using NeoOffice? Should I be using OpenOffice? Should I be using iWork? And so that's something that we need to figure out what's the best way to sort of come to some conclusion on that whole topic. Okay, anybody else have any other news items they want to?
New iMac.
Related to your topic of just now, Plan Mesa has released the 2.2.1 version of NeoOffice, the open source Office Suite stand-in. And just either yesterday or the day before, they released patch 1 for NeoOffice. It'll probably go through a bunch of patches as it goes through its life. That's out, and the fine people who create the Opera browser have Opera 9.5 in beta. And if you've never tried the Opera browser, you might want to. It has a little different user experience than you would be for.
A lot different.
Okay, all right, but it's very fast. And I read last night as I was browsing the news sites that it's considerably faster than Firefox. And they did not compare it to Safari in the test that I saw, but they compared it to Firefox, and it was, as I say, considerably faster. So if you like a brisk browsing experience, it could be for you.
Okay. We're going to, hold on one second, we're going to do a boomerang back to welcome the guests. I see another guest has arrived.
Tried to
Randy,
sneak
would you
in.
mind standing just for a minute, introduce yourself?
I apologize for being late. My name is Randy Dorsey. I'm the Oakwood IT coordinator. So I'm coming to learn some new contacts, meet new people, and stuff. I met Bill about a month ago. So, thank you.
Welcome.
Did you say hi, Randy? Come on
right.
Okay. Yes?
If anyone is an educator and they're going to think about buying another Mac, Adobe's offering probably about $1,000 off of their suites. So that's a good deal because you can get some of their packages at a little over $200 and a little over $300 instead of $1,200 and $1,300.
Now, that would be through their educational program, correct?
Yeah.
Okay,
And
do you have to do that
without
through,
purchase of a Mac.
do you have to do that through your school district, or can you do it like you can in Apple, where you just certify that you're,
You cannot go to the store. You can't go to an Apple store. You have to do it
I mean
basically on the
online.
phone.
ah,
And you
okay.
have to go ahead and fax in, they want a photo ID, and then they want, I just faxed in a pay stub.
Okay. Do you mind being a point person if somebody asks me a question about how to do that, or I can just direct them to you? Okay.
I don't know
Yes, sir.
about that, but I do know that as long as you were an educator, like Apple gives you that educational discount for the rest of your life, even if you're retired.
Yeah. Faculty, staff, and/or students.
Yeah,
If there's a special on the Apple webpage, there's a thing for education. You click on that, and you certify what school, et cetera, and there's discounts. Some school districts have their own special deals with Apple, where you can get an even better deal, but not all. Did I cover that point? Okay.
And I'm not sure how many parents of college students, looks like more like grandparents of college students in here, but there are so many schools that are now specifying, especially for graphic arts. We're only using Macs. University of Cincinnati, DAP, Kettering School of Commercial Design.
Yeah. Okay, any other news items?
Did you mention the new iMac,
Wait.
Bill?
Let me go up front, and then we'll go to you. Go ahead.
City of Dayton signed the wireless agreement, so there will be outdoor wireless access that hopefully will actually be working, unlike the last 2 years where it's been in pilot mode and not always working.
You don't like HarborLink?
I do like HarborLink, but now that they actually have the signed agreement, they can update the equipment on the poles so it actually works.
Do you know what the coverage is going to be?
City of Dayton,
City of Dayton.
The whole city of
Within
Dayton?
city
Except for
city
Starbucks.
limits of Dayton.
Well, I'm close enough to the line, I'm hoping it might spill over into my neighborhood.
So, let's see, if I understand, so if we have reliable wireless internet, that means that the company I work for could save several hundreds of dollars
Only if
by
you do work outdoors.
dumping all of their, well, we'll give them trench coats and umbrellas. Okay. Was there a public announcement that I missed?
Yeah, it was in the paper.
It was on the news, local news coverage.
Okay.
It was in the Dayton Daily News.
Okay, I'll just go to the HarborLink site and find out about that.
I thought they said open areas though.
Right, it's outdoor.
Outdoors, open areas, whether that would go into the neighborhoods, that's what I wasn't sure of. I thought they might have been just parks.
I'll gather more information.
But according to what I heard, it's the whole city.
Okay.
But they did say outdoors on the news.
Well, yeah,
Right.
It probably attenuates through the buildings.
Yeah.
too, maybe.
Now, the question was, what news said that? You know, because
Yeah, what
you
news
have
said
accurate news and then you have inaccurate.
Bill, it was in the Dayton Daily News.
Yeah.
As I said, that's who I work for. I work for the Dayton Daily News. There's accurate news and there's inaccurate news. Now, you had a comment you wish to make?
The iMac, the new iMac.
Oh, that's right. We had new iMacs released over the summer. Has anybody been down to Mac Depot or MacTown or CompUSA to see the new
We
iMacs?
have, Jason's coming to the meetings.
Okay. Oh, they're slick. They're slick. Very, very nice. Okay. Any other?
They also updated the Mac Mini.
That's true. My little favorite, the Mac Mini. They updated that.
And the rumor is the Wi-Fi, or the Hi-Fi is gone.
The Hi-Fi is gone. It's gone.
The product page is still on Apple, but the purchase option is on there.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah?
they put a gigabit port on the Airport
Oh,
Express.
that's right. The Airport Extreme, the Apple's version of a wireless router. It has not just gigabit ports for you to plug your computers in, but a gigabit port to go from the router to your cable modem, which means that instead of doing 100 megabit, you know, where you've got everybody coming in at 1 gigabit and they're going to the internet at 100 megabit, now it's 1 gigabit the whole way, which makes for a faster throughout.
iLife also comes with the new
Yes?
What good's going to your cable modem with 100 gigabit when you're megabit at best across your cable modem, unless
Well, you know, one could hope that at some point in the future, the United States Senate, United States Congress will hold the cable and telephone companies to the agreement that they signed in 1987, 1988, where they promised to have world-class internet connectivity.
network neutrality.
Okay, in any case, I'm being cynical here. Let me just add one thing. I need your help. When I get finished with the whole meeting, remind me when I get home to take my antibiotic, okay? I'm fighting an ear infection, that's why my voice is going in and out, and that's why sometimes I look like I'm a little dizzy. It's not my normal dizziness. Yes?
One of the changes they made in the new iMovie is that they will now support the hard drive based camcorders.
Ah.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
They did.
Yeah.
After I turned my hard drive back in, because it wouldn't work.
Interesting.
Hard drive camcorders, yeah.
Ah.
Got a good deal.
And I wonder if, where's Kathy?
Yeah, I already mentioned it to her.
Would that,
It may. Hers is not specifically listed, but it may be
Okay.
supported.
But because my DVD drive is not working
Is
properly.
yours hard drive?
No.
okay, but you're taking care of the DVD drive, right?
Hopefully next week.
Okay, all right, and you're doing the Apple Care because you paid for it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm gonna close news, unless somebody has a real barn burner they gotta share. Okay, we're done with news. For sale or wanted, anybody bring any old junk that they wanna get rid of today, or they're looking to purchase some premium, mature, previously owned equipment? Okay, no, all right. We don't have Ron Decker here today. Yes, we do.
Okay.
You don't have any?
I've still got the older 68,000 series.
I need to talk to you at the break. I got an email from a fellow that's looking for some pieces and parts for a Mac 2. Okay, so. Okay. Okay, so I guess that's it for sale or wanted. Employment, we don't have any employment. Help desk, have you had any problems over the summer break that you want to bring up in public?
I just have a question about, when you use iTunes, I haven't played with it enough maybe, and you're burning a CD, can you equalize all the volumes, or that's done as it's brought in?
There's a little feature called Sound Check
Okay.
that will let you equalize what's going out.
That's
But you
under-
want to tweak it a little bit yourself to make sure, I find it lowers the volume on everything to the same level, and then it may be too soft. You may want to up everything first and then sound check it.
Will that affect burning a CD of iTunes?
My understanding is it actually changes the bass sound level that gets burned out. Okay, and if
What's it
if
under?
this is being cooperative.
There is something in the preferences file that allows you to do that as well.
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Yes, Albert?
My normal carrier is AOL, and I use Safari also. If I download something, a picture in AOL, and try to put it in preview, it won't accept it.
Do you know what format the picture is in?
Not really.
Okay.
Whatever's on AOL.
Okay. Often what happens, okay, we're going to do the boomerang again. Everybody ready? Okay. We got another guest that just came in. We have a thing that we do. Mr. Booker?
Yes,
The
sir.
thing that we do is called the welcome, where we welcome our guests. And I'm just going to ask you to introduce yourself to the group.
Okay. My name is Charles Booker, and that's my name.
Oh, tell them, you know, what kind of Mac you got, what
I
kind of
have
phone you got,
What kind of what I have?
what kind of phone you have.
I have a 13-inch black MacBook, and I have a iPhone.
Periodically at work, Mr. Booker works for the same company I do. Periodically at work, I'll see this cluster of people, and they're all going, ooh, ah, ooh, and it's always Charles. And he's just trying to make a phone call. And everybody's going like, whoa. Hey, say hello to Charles, please.
All right, Charles.
Are getting a rebate.
I'm too old to try to. If I did.
Okay, and where were we at? We were doing help desk? And we're talking to Al. Okay, often what happens is when AOL, I'm assuming you're using the AOL client? Okay, when it brings something in as a download, it says it's one of its graphics. Okay, if it's a file that's actually a standalone file as opposed to meshed into an email message like a MIME, what you can do is, come on, just accept it, log in. Anyway, what you do is you find where the file actually is, and you select it, and you do a Control-I, okay? What I normally would call an Apple I, or no, excuse me, Command. The Apple key is the Command key. They've taken the new keyboards that they released, it has no Apple on it. It has the word Command on it. But you hold down that Apple key and the letter I, and it'll bring up a little box like this. I'm going to pick on a thing and do an Apple I on it. Yeah. Okay. Now you'll notice it tells me what kind of file it is, size and all that kind of stuff. Well, if I go down a little bit, right here where it says open with, I'm going to close that preview. I don't want to scare anybody. But right now I'm right in here. Right now it says open with preview. I can select what program is supposed to open that file. So if the computer thinks it belongs to AOL and you double click it, it's going to launch AOL. And the way you change it, what it's going to launch, is by going in there and selecting some other application. In this case, I'm going to click on Applications and pick something like, let's say iPhoto. And I'll say Add. So now it changed it. Now it's going to open it. If I double click that file, it's going to open it with iPhoto. So that's the way you change what program is going to open a graphic or a text file or anything. And
A lot of times I do that and it says it's corrupt.
okay, it's now importing the photo.
Okay, that, Bill?
I'm using that as a laugh during my presentation. It's my proof of evolution. Any case, but there's another little thing down here, and that is you'll notice that there's this other button that says Change All. If I select the program that I want to open the picture, in your case you probably want to select Preview or something like that, and you click that Change All button, it'll look for all the files of that type on your computer and will set all of them to open with that program. So that's a way where you can globally say, I want all my PDFs to open in Preview, or I want them to open in Acrobat Reader. I want all of my JPEGs to open in Preview, or I want them to open in Graphic Converter. Yeah, Dave.
Does it actually go change all the files that you have at that moment, or does it go and say JPEGs open in this at some central point?
It does. JPEGs open in this.
Okay.
Because you'll notice that the icons don't always change right away, but as you open them, then it changes.
And they'll change after a reboot.
Yeah. That's part of that whole pre-binding stuff that happens every so often.
In multi-user computers, is that for all users or for just that user?
No, it's just for you.
For the user you have when you do that?
Correct. Okay, this is a user setting, not a global setting. Okay. All right. You can't mess with other people's data unless you're logged in as root. Yes, Peter.
In many cases, if you have a web page with pictures, if you just click on the picture, you can drag it to the desktop, and it forms a file on the desktop.
Yes.
And then you can do whatever you want to do with it.
Yes. That's another way to go. Okay. Yes, Al?
Back to my problem. When I do that and try to open it, if I take the AOL into a preview, they say the file's corrupted and you can't open it.
I have an answer for that.
Okay. Jeff has an answer.
I've used AOL before in my days where they didn't have the cable. I found that if you go to Google, you can search for a converter that will convert it. It's like an AIG file or a TWG file or something like that. And it will convert it into whatever you want, JPEG or whatever. AOL puts like a kind of compression onto the file itself, and when the other programs see that, it automatically says, I don't understand what this file is. So do the conversion and then you can open the file.
And just to add one more thing, if you send me a copy of the file, if you've got a sample that you can send me, I'll take a look at it and see if it really is corrupt or is there something else that'll happen. One of the other things that happens with AOL is things when they're sent to you, if they send more than one, or if it's one thing that's over a certain size, they'll compress it into what's called an archive, either a zip file or a SIT file or a GZ. It all depends on what the person has set on their computer, what sort of compression they're going to use. Not all uncompressors do it correctly. What I've found is with some zip files, if I open it using the Mac operating system, it won't retain all of the attributes that it should have, and it'll tell me it's corrupt. But if I use the 11.02e version of Stuffit Expander, which is a free application, it'll open it correctly and give me what I need. Okay? So anyway, so homework assignment out, send me a sample of one of those files. Okay? Nothing that will embarrass or shock me, please. Okay. All right, moving right along. Help desk, anybody else? Ron.
My wife Judy got tired of me using dial-up modem for internet access, so after 20-some years, yesterday afternoon, Time Warner cable guy came and installed a cable router in our house.
Did it work after Art and I have this running gag about how many trips it takes to get this stuff to work. Did your TV still work after the cable modem guy came out?
Yes.
Okay, and did the cable modem work when the cable modem guy left?
Yes.
You were like that. He had to think about it.
Pardon?
He had to think about it.
Well,
you are truly blessed.
I'm a newbie in this, and I'm looking for any information that somebody might want to give me during a break on what to look for. But my experience was, I called, my wife's birthday was Thursday, so for her birthday I got her high-speed internet.
Whoa! So she didn't want that bandsaw or the riding.
She actually believes it's for her. Anyhow, my experience was that they said, well, when can you install? And I was planning on taking Friday off, and they said, okay, how about between 1:30 and 3:30? I said, fine, I'll be home. About 20 after 3, they called and said there's installer is running late. He showed up about 8 o'clock, 4:30. And when he...
That's still within an hour.
Yeah, I already...
Hey, if it's the same day, if it's the same week, you're ahead.
And they called, and they showed up.
But
Time Warner, known throughout the world for customer service.
they did, he did install it. I had most of the wiring done for him, so that was easy.
So what do you think you need?
I got zero in the way of documentation. I mean, the modem's plugged in. I found where the off-on button is. I assume I've got a fixed IP address. I have no idea what it is.
They want to hear from
I do not.
You're going to it's going to be dynamic.
Within a few hours, it'll change.
So I've got a whole lot to learn.
Okay. We need to have a dialogue, but this is the wrong place to have the dialogue. But the questions I want you to answer are, is it going to be just one computer at the house on the internet at a time?
No.
Okay. And what form factors, what attributes are the computers? Okay, you know, PC, Mac, Linux, blah, blah, blah. They got wireless, don't have wireless. Okay. And we'll get you going.
Well, I'd be willing to share my experiences if anyone else is thinking about doing this. That's all.
Okay, okay, it's always appreciated, Ron. All right, anybody else?
Yeah, I did have a question. I don't think quite about it before I came in. I came in a little bit late about the clear. That just made me think about the clear wire. Does anybody
Clearwire.
have any?
I was talking with,
I was down at the store, the new store, and they were changing.
we have at least one member present who's currently using Clearwire. And Bill, where are you? Okay, Bill Jacobs has got Clearwire.
Works fine as far as what I need.
Yeah.
Okay. And I've talked with Kathy Morehart, and we're going to try and get them in here for a presentation.
Okay.
So that
Kind of
people
pretty
know
interesting.
what the three choices are for broadband in the area.
Right. I talked to the people at the new store. You know, they're on Queensbridge.
Okay. Oh, that's the other thing. Mactown opened, that's the other.
That's where I found out about it. So you want to find out about it. It's like $20.
Yeah.
A month.
Okay, but I'll get you more information.
Can you say quickly what Clearwire is?
It uses cell phone technology instead of running stuff over copper, either coax or telephone wire. It actually connects wirelessly to cell towers where they have their transmitters. And one of the things that's sort of interesting, I thought was sort of neat, was the Clearwire rep had her Clearwire modem with her and a little inverter, and she plugs it into the car so that it's powered up, and she's got internet wherever she drives. She doesn't do internet while she's driving, but when she's at a location, this is how she can tell whether a potential customer is in their service area. She drives to their property and tries to connect with the Clearwire modem. And they have different levels of service in terms of speed.
They from like 20 to 37.
And they have like, they can...
And you have to buy the, I think it's $99.
Yeah, yeah. And anyway, but we'll get you more information about that.
That's fine. I just wondered if anybody else was using it, and how well they liked it.
You know, thank you for reminding me, because I just totally forgot to mention that. That was the other thing going on in the area. Okay, always nice to have choices, yes? Yes. Okay, anybody else? Yes, Randy?
Is anyone using the dual platform yet? For the Macs? Both sides, PC and...
I've got VMware Fusion running on mine.
I have parallel.
And how, are you guys liking it, or are there any problems or?
Yeah, no problem
It's
at all.
PC.
Are you doing boot camp or parallel?
VMware Fusion.
Okay, she's using Fusion, and Don, you're using Parallel Desktop?
Yes.
Okay, those are the two primary solutions out there if you don't want to do the boot camp. Because boot camp requires you to partition your hard drive, and you have to reboot the machine to come up in Windows XP as opposed to Mac OS X. So doing the virtualization is much nicer. You don't have to reboot, you're just there all the time doing what you want to do. So at the break, Don, see Randy, and Shauna works at UD, by the way, University of Dayton. Right, you're still there? Okay, she's still there. Okay, good. Anybody else?
You can turn the fans on.
Okay, let me finish up real quick, we'll turn the fans back on. Okay, we did help desk, we don't have raffle items this month, but Mr. Georges is working the case, and we'll have something hopefully for next month. Why don't we do our break before we die from lack of oxygen? The main presentation is going to be about instant messaging and the Apple program iChat AV, and the novice group will be meeting back there on the topics that they usually talk about, which is user-generated.
Is the iChat going to include the camera?
Yeah, video conferencing. Okay, I'm going to turn on the fans, and we're taking a 15 with the intention of making it easier for you to hear what I'm saying. We're going to try it with the other fans still on. Is that agreeable with everyone?
Yes.
I will attempt to speak louder. There's certain physical limitations right now. I'm fighting an ear infection, so I'm on meds, and having trouble hearing, which means I'm having trouble deciding what level to. Okay. I had a question, a couple questions from the floor. We wanted to know what my screensaver was that I had running. Run it into test mode. This screensaver, what it's doing is it's simulating trade, if you will, between different points. And as trade occurs, it starts to get regularized. Notice that a trade route just got set up. And so now we've got sort of caravan routes occurring, and so you've got major nodes that develop. And then what it does is after it's applied some of these theoretical constraints of trade, logistics, if you will, to it, it'll take nodes out. So this is stuff that has it's a theoretical model. It has implications in terms of logistics, in terms of automobile traffic analysis, in terms of internet traffic analysis. And the name of the program is Chemical Burn. Chemical Burn. It's all one word. It's a free screensaver. And the fellow that wrote it, his name is Michael Ash. I think the algorithms came from the Traffic Institute at Northwestern University. But I could be wrong on that. Okay, so anyway, that's what I was running. Okay. Topic this month is iChat AV. It's an instant messaging program that is bundled with Apple OS X. I believe it's been bundled with the operating system since Panther. So it's part of Tiger, and it will be part of Leopard, which is the next one coming. I've got 4 resources that if you brought your flash drives with you to the meeting, that you can get from Mr. Kirtner. He has a USB hub over there where we can load this stuff onto your flash drive. And those 4 resources are, first, a movie, iChat movie. This is from the Washington Apple Pie user group. And it has a very low volume level, so it's not appropriate for me to use here. You just wouldn't hear the commentary on it if I try to do it in this form. But it works very nicely when you're at home and you've got some silence around you and you can focus on it. And it's a walkthrough of setting up iChat. And people learn different ways, so I try to provide materials, different types of materials for the ways that people learn. So if you're a visual person, you have to see it, you have to hear it, and you don't necessarily retain it. If you see it here, you've got a movie you can take home with you and look at. The second one is a Microsoft Word document, which is the handout that we had available. Did everybody get handouts? No. Okay, they're probably over on the table. If you could grab those and hand them out. It's the one that starts out with Mac 101 at the top. And this is from the Apple website. They have a series of tutorials called Mac 101 on the Apple website. And so I sort of sucked those web pages in and printed them out as a PDF, and then I exported from the PDF to a Microsoft Word document, and then I started taking stuff out. But it's this document that starts with Mac 101 iChat AV at the top. This document I'm providing in 2 flavors. One is a Microsoft Word document, one is a Adobe PDF. And it's got how to set up your first buddy list, how to set up iChat, adding a buddy, text chat with a buddy, audio chat with a buddy, video chat with a buddy, and how to set up an iChat conference. Again, I'm providing it in a Microsoft Word document and a PDF. So if you got Office, you can open it. If you have NeoOffice, you can open it. If you have Preview or Acrobat Reader, you can get to that. And last but not least, a copy of the PowerPoint that I put together. And that's what we'll be doing here. Okay. And again, all 4 of those files are available from Mr. Kirtner, and you can put them on your flash drive, or we'll have them up on the website before I leave. Yes?
Do you have to have a .Mac account? Just trying to set up that. It says something about a .Mac.
Either a .Mac or an AOL instant messaging. We'll get into that in a second. Sorry, I gotta get a coffee here. And what are you going to remind me at the end of the presentation?
Take your antibiotic.
I gotta be in good shape. I got a wedding I'm going to this evening, so I may be on the dance.
No alcohol.
Okay.
Son.
No alcohol.
No booze,
Actually, with this antibiotic, it doesn't say no alcohol.
Still should take alcohol. It reduces the effect.
Okay, I hear you. This is why it truly is a support group. We may nag a little bit, but we are a support group. Okay, topic. Instant Messaging 101, Introduction to Using iChat AV. Obligatory contact information, my name, William Herrick, where I'm employed. This is my business email. This is the other email that I'm using. Generally, if it's not, I'm going to start taking the business one off. Because if it's not business related, it's better to just send it to the Gmail account. And then I would ask that you please turn off your pagers and/or cell phones. Everybody got that? Okay. The older, the AOL emails are still good. The TMG Dayton at AOL, that's still a good account. Same thing with the Grillman at AOL. Raise your hands when you're ready for me to proceed.
Somewhere you're going to explain how to get things turned on, so we can follow that internet.
And if I don't, it's your job to make sure that I do. Okay? Okay, I'm going to go forward. Okay. How many of you currently do email? How many of you get sort of disgusted with all the spam that's in your email account? How many get frustrated about whether the message got through? The advantage of email is that when you send it, it ends up on a server until that person retrieves it. So it sits there. So it's sort of like a message on an answer machine. Instant messaging is more like that phone call when a human being picks up on the other end. You're instantly in communication. That's what instant messaging is about. You're only able to connect with that person if they are currently available on the network and they've said that they're available. So, if you're looking for a more personal way to stay in touch, iChat AV, which is an Apple program, comes with the operating system. That means you've already got it. Enables you to see and hear your friends, family, and coworkers no matter how far away they are. Now, most instant messaging clients, that's another word for an application or a program, only do text. In other words, you're typing, they're typing, they're typing, they're typing, and you get all these abbreviations that you start to use, like OMG, oh my God, ROTFL, rolling on the floor laughing, those sorts of things. Because we don't type as fast as we talk, so you got to start using shortcuts. Now, iChat AV will let you do text chats. It will also let you do audio chats. That means I'm talking to the person, they're talking back to me. or it'll let you do video conferencing. They can see me, I can see them. So it lets you text chat, audio chat, video chat over the internet without accruing any text messaging, long distance, or video streaming charges. In other words, it's not like Skype or I can't remember the other open source IP, voice over IP, Gizmo. It's not like Gizmo, it's not like Skype, it's not like Vonage, where you have to be paying monthly fees for that. Another advantage, many internet service providers, for example, a cable company or Bell, if you want to do voice over IP telephony over their network, they may have those ports closed off. With iChat, because of end user license agreements, they have to open those ports if you're doing iChat, because it's considered to be instant messaging, not voice over IP telephony. Yes? No. Good point. Let me just finish up the slide and go to the next one. Okay. And not only can you chat one-on-one, you can also set up a conference with multiple people. Now, if you're going to do just text chat and low-end audio chat, you can do that on a dial-up line. I don't think your audio chat is going to quite give you the real-time experience you want. A text chat over a voice line, a dial-up line, works very nicely. So let's talk about what is needed with iChat AB. A computer running Mac OS X software. iChat AB does not work in Mac OS 9. You have to have an internet connection, and it can be a dial-up. An AOL instant messaging account or a .Mac account. Now, people go, wait a minute, AOL, that's going to cost me money. AOL instant messaging accounts are free. Okay, time permitting, when we get a little bit further on, I'll show you where to go to set up your own AOL IM. Another thing that's nice, but it's optional, is a web camera. If you want to do video conferencing, and you want the people at the other end to see you, you have to have a camera at your end. But if you don't have a camera at your end and they do at their end, you can still do one-way video conferencing where you can see them but they can't see you. Sometimes I do video conferencing where they can't see me, especially if it's first thing in the morning. There's nothing quite like that Saddam coming out of the bunker picture when your eyesight camera goes on and you go, oh my God, no. Okay. Another thing you need is another user. If you're going to chat, you have to have someone else to chat to. You don't want to do the strange thing I was doing this morning, which was chatting to myself so I could do screenshots of what the windows look like. Okay, now, you can communicate with anyone using AOL Instant Messaging or .Mac, regardless of platform. That means their platform. If they're on a PC, running AOL Instant Messaging 5.9 or 6, you can do the text chat, the audio chat. I think 5.9 is what you have to be on to do the video chat. And iChat AB can also be used within a local network when set up correctly. That's the Bonjour function. So, now you're thinking, okay, wait a minute. Why would I want to be able to do iChat on my local network? You've got more than one computer at home. Let's say one is downstairs in the basement, one is upstairs in the bedroom. Hypothetical situation, it's a husband and wife. The wife is on one computer, the husband's on the other. You turn on Bonjour iChat, and you can send the message down, honey, what do you want for dinner? The response would be, I don't know. What do you want for dinner? Well, let me see what's in the freezer. Okay, well, you're downstairs, we'll find out. So on your own network, where it's not going out to the internet and back, but just on your own network, you can be using it to do communication, text, audio, or video. I had a very strange situation in my family room 2 weekends ago. All three of my offspring were home. The civil engineer, the environmental scientist, and the soon-to-be OSU undergrad. And my wife's got, sitting in the family room, they're watching a movie on the TV. My wife's got her laptop going. All the kids have got their laptops. Okay. And they're eye-chatting, instant messaging each other, making comments about the movie. Sitting on the same path, well, Rob is sitting over by the computer. Okay. But it's like, and I said, what are you people doing? They said, we're not annoying mom. I said, oh, okay. They can make their snide comments, and my wife isn't disturbed with their snide comments. Okay, so communication. Okay, getting started. You start up your computer, plug in your EyeSight camera into the FireWire port. That's if you don't have a built-in EyeSight camera. You have an extra. Open your iChat software, choose a buddy, select the method of communication. Yes, Mr. Burns.
You can also use a video camera, like a regular.
I didn't know that.
Through
Does
FireWire.
it do streaming?
It works just like an EyeSight camera.
Okay, so basically you have it in a. Okay, I didn't know that.
The only downside to that on, for example, mine, I camcorder, if I'm not actually recording, has a 5-minute shutdown.
I heard you said you pulled it, sent tape out, and that's why
Now, with some you can set so it doesn't turn itself off.
Somebody want to try that? Report back. That works. Instead of an EyeSight camera or some other web camera, you can use a video camera. Still have to be a FireWire. Yeah.
Although
USB is not the
you
best.
can use these USB webcam, which is a piece of software that you have to use to make it work.
Okay. So you know more about this than I do. Right?
No.
I believe in one of the releases that came out where they upgraded Tiger, they put in some generic USB support.
Yes.
There is a generic class of USB that you have to come look for on the camera box, but there is some support coming.
I'll remind you, we're doing iChat 101. We can always do a 201 or a 301 later on. Okay? Moving on to 101. The other thing is there's an integration between iChat AV and the address book that comes with your Mac. So that if you have someone in your address book and you have what their email address is and what their AOL Instant Messaging address is or what their .Mac address is, they'll show up automatically as a buddy if you select it. Okay, so there's that integration. So you can use your address book software to put people into groups and to control your various instant messaging buttons. Did you notice I used your address card with all of your contact information stripped out? Okay, starting a chat, you would bring up iChat, and we're going to do an actual walkthrough. That's why I'm hurrying through these slides. I always like to do the actual, let's try it for real. Okay. And remember what our demonstrations are like. They are never canned demonstrations. They are real world. Oh my God, it's not working type demonstrations. Okay. Anyway, this is what an iChat window looks like. If I wanted to start a chat with Ernest Anderson, I would double click on that, and if he was online, it would have a different icon. If he was online. Double click on it, he would then get a message that says, do you want to chat with so-and-so? And that's one of the things I like about iChat. You don't have to talk to someone if you don't want to. You can block them, you can refuse them, whatever.
See that picture you have up there?
Yep. This
How
one?
do you change that?
Huh? I'll show you when we get to the demo. And note the text is only the service currently available. Down here, this is where you click what kind of chat you want to do. Here, it's if the letter A is if you want to do a text chat. The one next to it that looks like a telephone, that's if you want to do a voice chat. And the last one is if you want to do a video chat, where you're doing voice and video. Okay. Now this is what the invitation screen would look like. Okay, let's say I clicked on your icon and I said, I want to chat with Bonnie. Okay. You would get a thing that says chat with William Herrick, decline or accept or block. And if you block me, that means I can't annoy you with any more requests to chat.
Does the other person, do you know that I blocked you?
Yeah, but that's okay. Otherwise, I don't get the message. Okay, so you can elect to receive or decline. You can also block. So one of the things I like about this is we have control over this. Lord knows we all have enough to do every day. Even those of us, even those who are retired, we got full days. And sometimes you just don't want to be chatting with somebody because you got stuff you got to do. And I'll show you how you can set what your status is so they know you're online but you're not available. And then video chats, iChat AV users can enter into video chats with up to 3 other users at one time, and they can also have one-way video chats. Now you might think, well, why would you want to do video chats? Well, I'm a father, and I don't see my oldest son that often. He's busy working on his thesis. So every so often I'll do a video chat with him, you know, and just to see how he is, what he looks like, you know, and I can usually tell over his shoulder, depending on where he's sitting in his apartment, you know, is the kitchen, you know, as clean as it should be. I'll say, hey, you ought to get on your roommate, he hasn't done the dishes lately. That sort of stuff. Can we go back just 1 minute? For the gentleman in the audience, the bathrobe rule. Before initiating any video chat, make sure the bathrobe is appropriately seated. Okay. We had, what was it, last year? We got, we got Jake up on an iChat, and, you know, we just woke him up in his dorm room, and it was like, okay. Okay, so uses for instant messaging. Collaboration with other family members, workers, or guest speakers anywhere in the world. We've toyed with the idea of having someone iChat to our meeting and do their presentation. We're still thinking that one through. Sharing files and information. Now, if I've instituted a chat with someone, if I drag a file onto the chat, it will say to them at the other end, do you wish to accept this file that is going to be sent to you? They can accept or decline. If they accept, it sends the file, boom, to them right there. If I drag a folder of files, it'll say, do you want to accept this folder that has these files? So when we were doing setup of the meeting, I wanted to get those 4 files from this presentation over to Mr. Curtin. We had him set up iChat, and I sent it from this machine to that machine via iChat. We used Bonjour, the local network, because we didn't want it to go out to the internet to AOL and back. We wanted just to go to the router and back over the internet. So that's another reason why you might want to use a Bonjour. Again, you get instant feedback. You know, if Bonnie's blocked me, hey, I know. You know, the message is clear. You avoid phone charges, and it can be fun. Okay, advantages. Easy to use, real-time, fast, instant response, contact buddy list, controlled access, view availability online, and you can talk to anyone with a free AOL account, Mac OS 9, Mac OS X, or PC. Now, you'll remember I said that iChat maybe only runs under Mac OS X, but AOL Instant Messenger, there is a AIM client that works under Mac OS X. Yes, Mr. Ball.
Will also communicate with the various Linux.
Good point. I need to change the PowerPoint to include Linux distributions. So, a lot of power. Now, these are the advantages. Let's talk about disadvantages. Security risks. Message interception. It's not always encrypted. You can set encryption. If you set encryption, it's going to slow down how much stuff you can push through. Another security risk, virus from file transfer. If I'm sending somebody directly to them a file, chances are it's not going into their download folder, and it's not going into their virus scheme. It's not going through their internet service provider like their emails will, where it scans and checks for viruses. So it's a security risk. It bypasses the virus scheme. Then there's privacy concerns. Okay. I would not use this for government level work. I would not use this if I was a lawyer and was trying to transfer confidential information. There's better ways to move those files. And it can be distracting. You're at work, you're supposed to be working, and instead you're chatting with this friend and that friend and this friend and that friend. Remember, you can have multiple chats going on at the same time. One of the cusp marks that divides my generation from my offspring is I do email, they do instant messaging. I send broadcast emails out, they'll have multiple chats going at the same time, that they're watching TV on their computer, and that they're working on another resume. And they multitask in a way that my mind does not compute. So it can be distracting. But again, when we get to the actual hands-on, I'll show you how you can turn this stuff off. Next one, lack of administration. So there's no centralized administrative control. So if you're in an institutional setting or an enterprise setting, you want to have a handle on this stuff, you're not going to have that centralized control. Not with this level of iChat. There's another way that you can do iChat. I'm not going to go into details about that. Using a Jabber server, that's where you do have administrative control. Okay, and last but not least, viewed as a time waster. It's a time sponge. So those are the disadvantages. I know this is like that one. We're going to do questions while I get some more coffee. I see stunned looks. Yes?
You can record a video chat session. This goes into a folder somewhere.
And you can record text chat sessions also. It's got some settings where you can say record my chats. Be aware if you're doing videos, you have a big hard drive. So suck up some of that data.
MSN Live, is there any way to connect to MSN Live?
No.
You have to go to AOL.
Correct. And the reason why you're not going to be able to connect with MSN, that's Microsoft, or Yahoo Instant Messaging, or Google Instant Messaging, has to do with security concerns. The types of protocols that are used. While iChat is not what I would call a class 4 secure communication, it is still much more secure than Yahoo or MSN, which is basically clear text, open messaging. It's very easy for that stuff to get intercepted if somebody wanted to. So that's why there's a restriction on that. If you want to do MSN, and you want to do Yahoo, and you want to do Google, and you want to do, there's a free open source instant messaging client called Adium. ADIUM. It'll let you do those simultaneously, but it does not do video. And I'm not sure if it does audio. I think it's text only.
We're
But
gonna go into video,
we're gonna try and get as much done as we can. Okay?
In order for us to participate with you, this guy, then we have to have a camera, right?
Correct.
If we don't have it set up right now, we can't participate.
That is correct.
So just watch.
Right, or if you want, I can show you where on AOL to go if you want to quickly set up a recent messaging.
Does that take an AOL account even to do a local, just like if we were to?
Right. Oh, why don't I do it by Bonjour? If you're logged into the Good Shepherd router, if you do Bonjour, and you're set up for iChat, Bonjour.
Set up what I can.
Right.
Have it on the machine.
On the machine, we'll do it one. Okay, should we do demo? Okay. Now, remind me of two things. One, the antibiotic. And two, that next month we're going to try and do a presentation about Mac OS 10.5 Lumber. Okay, we're going to have an outside presenter. Hopefully they won't release it next month. The next version of the operating system. Okay, we're going to remind them of those three things, right? Okay. Let's say you want to do iChat. Got a Mac. It's running Mac OS 10. I've got an internet connection on the network. So, next thing is I need to launch the iChat program. On this computer down here, which is hidden, there's a dock down here. I have the iChat icon in my dock. In this case, I'm just going to walk you through it. From my sidebar, I can click on the applications and look for iChat AD. There it is. Okay, so I can double click now and launch it, or I can do it the other way, which is double click on the hard drive, double click on the applications, scroll on down, click on this list. Scroll on down. Until I've got iChat selected. And either double click it or do an app load. Okay, it's launched. I'm going to bring up all of the iChat. Get this other stuff closed. And I got to wait for the little spinny wheel to finish. So I'm going to talk while it's doing its memory. Okay, what I'm going to do first, once the little spinning pizza wheel of death finishes, is show you how you set up your account. So you go to iChat and you select Preferences. We've got General, Accounts, Messages, Alerts, and Video. We're going to start with General. Click on General. I've got it set so it uses shapes to indicate the status of an account, whether they're online or offline. The reason I do that is because many of my coworkers are colorblind, so a red dot, green dot doesn't convey much to them. If it's a circle versus a square, that they understand. You can have it where it shows the status of iChat in the menu bar. I've got too much stuff in my menu bar, I don't bother with that. And you can also set it so it auto-replies with a delay message. My son is either go away, I'm busy working on the thesis, go away, I'm doing the laundry, go away, I'm out drinking, you know. You can set your own customized message. And then you can also have it, whether you have fast user switching, you can set your status. That's if you switch from one account on your Mac to another account using fast user switching, where it'll automatically take the account that you were on and put it to off mode, so that people aren't trying to chat you while you're using the other account. And And then when I return to my computer, my status is away. You can set it so that it knows what to do. Screensaver's on. You come back to the machine, it automatically switches you to being offline or away. It'll prompt you if you want to be back on. Yes?
Question, I opened iChat, went to iChat, looked at preferences like you did, and it opened up a little dialog box for me, and the preference word is subdued, you can't click on it, or it's not right.
That means that you don't have anything configured at all. So this is going to walk you through a user.
So you've got to figure out how to get it in first.
But you'll be doing just the local network, not internet. And last but not least, where it's, if you get a file sent by this, where it's going to say, I have it set to go onto the desktop. Okay, accounts. So this is where you set up. If you have other accounts already set up on this is where you would add or remove accounts. In this particular instance, I'm set up that I'm using my Rillman AOL account, and I've got a click in front of the Bonjour. So I'm saying to iChat, I want you to do the AOL internet thing, but I also want you to show me machines that are on my local network that are just using Bonjour. And I'm telling it what account type. My choices are AOL Instant Messenger or .NET. In terms of security, you can set various things as to what privacy level you want. That's for iChat 201. Server settings, again, this is only if you're in a workplace or a school setting where they don't want people doing their job. Messages, this is, if I send a message, what color and what font it's going to use next to my picture to indicate my stuff. So when you're doing a text chat with multiple people, it's helpful if you've got a picture and colors to separate what I said versus what this person said, what this person said.
I just said it in the picture.
I'll get to that. And then alerts, what sound goes on. If I have iChat running, I can have it where it makes a noise whenever anybody in my buddy list comes online. Last night I was working up some of this stuff, and iChat running. A former neighbor came online, and I just finished reading Madeleine L'Engle's obituary of the New York Times, the Lincoln Times, and she knew her, had gone to school with her. I didn't know if she knew that Madeleine L'Engle had died. So I beamed instant message, did you hear about Madeleine L'Engle? Again, I got distracted from what I was supposed to do, which was getting to the presentation done. So it will distract you. And last but not least, video. This has a built-in eyesight camera, and yeah, that's me. And this is how you quickly tell whether you're set up the way you want to be. Okay, this camera's working, we're good. Okay, now, let me go to Windows. I'm going to open up Buddy List. A buddy list is the AOL internet stuff. The other one, Bonjour over here, is the local stuff. And I'm about to say that I'm away on the internet stuff, and on the Bonjour stuff, I'm going to say I'm available. Okay, it just said you have logged in, because I'm doing the two different networks. I'm doing the local network through our router tool. I'm also doing the AOL. Tom didn't want to white. What I'd like to do, if, let's see, Charles, Don, and Sean, I'd like to, I want to push the envelope. Can we try a video? Okay. I need my cheat sheet. I haven't done video conferencing with multiple. Oh, did you send me a?
Yes.
I'm getting the spinning wheel too. I apologize for that. I did not scrape the barnacles off of my Mac, so it's got some timing issues going on. Well, while it's doing that, let me talk about what some of these icons. This is a picture that Don Baldick has selected on his machine to be his icon. iChat comes with a whole bunch of icons that you can use, or you can also use a photograph that you can. So you can either use the built-in iChat icons or a photograph. One of the ones I like to use is the shadow. I have that up to this one. So here we have Don Bennett, Charles Booker, Shauna Collins, Tom Kertner, Dan Forshaw. That almost looks like you, Dan. That almost looks like you. Were you on the site where it takes your picture? And then we have Elton Hopper. Still getting that spinning meatball. This particular machine has been running Sun Solaris, a new version of Ubuntu, Fedora, Windows Vista, and there's something else. And I, at one point, had a beta distribution of Leopard. And I do apologize, I should not have, I should have cleaned stuff out before I did this. Okay, Apple option, escape. I'm going to do a first review, that's what I'm going to do. While we're waiting for it to reboot, those of you who have an internet connection, I'll just tell you, if you go out to www.aim.com. It will take you to a part of the AOL, American Online website, where you can apply for a free AOL instant messaging user ID.
Would you repeat that?
www.aim.com. And that's where you can get that free account.
Get your password, you may have all those accounts there. To get your password to day one.
It's a bad thing. The only way, if it's AOL and you have AOL regular service, okay, where we have a master account and we have the,
She's talking about.
oh, you're talking about logging into
Oh,
the
it's actually
computer?
logging?
That's why you should always have true admin. So if one gets hosed, you can still get in on the old.
Keep your boot disk handy.
Yeah, you can reset it.
That's another one.
Using the new CD. You restart from your CD, there's an option to reset the password. Everything, including the root.
Moving forward, I'm gonna let this in. We're gonna go to paper. We're gonna walk our way through the documentation. So on the first page of the iChat documentation.
Bill.
Yeah. Your call.
I trust you.
Okay.
Yes, right? As long as you don't install Vista on it, we'll be all right.
Log in.
Put down the business, put down the business, and we're all on.
Yeah. Put down the business, step away.
Do video. By video, I mean video display through projector. I have to be powered on through the cord. I can't just be running off the batteries.
Yeah, the rest is
You're there.
Say, cancel that shutdown. Let's drag this in. Okay, let's try and do a chat without that. This is why I don't do text chats. I just type this type below. Did you get a?
Oh, there we go. No, John.
So.
Bennett popped up.
We're waiting for him to respond back. So type something in and hit record. Accept. Text chats tend not to be high volume content stuff. It's like, okay, hello, hi, how you doing?
I don't see a picture on my screen.
That's because we're not doing video. We're just doing
video.
But we'll do video in a minute. The sooner we can get text to go. How you doing? Again, I misspelled you. He goes fine. Kleenex. There are etiquette grammar rules for text conferencing. One of the things is when you're finished, you say bye. So people know that you're really done. And then, of course, there's always those people who you said bye and then say, oh, I almost forgot. They say something else, and then you start doing it, and you say bye again, and they say, and I forgot. It's the same thing that you have in real life. When someone okay, now I'm going to close out this text, and I'm going to click, instead of just double clicking, I'm going to select out from the buddy list. I'm going to click on the video camera. So we're going to try and do a video. Okay. Waiting for a response from Elton Hopper. Now, keep in mind, I've got speakers on this. He's got speakers on that. We may get a little feedback as we're a little too close. You might want to toggle through your windows. Okay, while we're waiting for him, let's see if
There you are.
So now we've got, I'm down there, Elton's up there. Okay, he's got bad lighting. That's one of the things you find when you start to do video conferencing. You want to make sure you got the right lighting where you're positioned. Otherwise, whoa. Okay. That's good. And notice I'm looking at the camera, Elton is looking at the screen. Yeah, let's see. Okay, I'm going to hold down my command key, which is the Apple key, and I'm going to see if I can get some other video people in here. I'm going to try, okay, I got to do it again. Okay, let me close this out. Let's start it all together. Shauna and Charles. Excuse me, I didn't do that. Shauna and Charles. And then I click the Yeah.
Try starting on with something and then dragging people onto it.
Starting a chat, dragging people on. Okay, that sounds dangerous, but we'll try it.
I can be wrong.
Okay, so let's start with, we'll just start a video chat with you, Dan. We're waiting for a response from Dan. There we go. And now we're going to, got two invites going on. Now that I've got that out, I'm going to kill out the video chat with Dan. Sorry, Dan. And I'm going to try and add Elton. Oh, let's try this. Let's try plus. As you can tell, I normally just use this as one-on-one. Let's close this out. Close all tabs. Yeah, let's try that. Okay, again, I should be able to click on Elton.
I got it. I think it has to do with the speed and performance of the computer.
Say it again.
The network here is quite slow. Your computer.
Got it. Help. Help.
Respond? Oh, there. Video. Someone else was at a shake.
There are so many more people on Zoom in this room.
You're doing some packet sniffing and,
Oh, yeah.
okay. All right. You know, they close some stuff off. Now, one of the things that was asked, I'll wrap it up quick, was how do you change the picture that's associated with the account? So let's go into preferences, house. This is Don Bennett's account. So we click on video.
Yeah.
Okay, I keep forgetting that I'm using Don Bennett's computer, I keep looking for both. Okay, I've got the buddy list up and there's Don's picture. There's a little arrow in there, if I click on it, it shows me the current set of icons that I can use. Okay, we're looking at the buddy list, it's him at the top. You go into where the picture is and you just hold down your mouse button and it shows you what are the current choices and you select edit picture. At that point you can either take a picture using the iSight camera or I can drag a graphic, a JPEG, a GIF, or something like that onto the iChat window here, resize it and say that's the picture. iPhoto you can export the file from iPhoto and use it.
By default, it seems to be using my login graphic. So if I just change that or change it, it's going to change that.
Correct. The other way to do it, if you want to change it, is if you're using the same account that is in your address book, bring up your address book and change what picture is associated with the account. That's
It's
in your
using my
address book.
OSX login picture.
Right. You notice some of the people have the 8-ball, some have the tennis ball, some of them have the same. That's their SP icon they have associated with their login. Yes, ma'am. Now, we've run out of time. For those of you who need to go elsewhere, that's fine. I'm going to stay and just answer some other questions. But the main thing to take away is it's another way to communicate. You may want to start with text chatting first. You want to be selective about who you put in your buddy list. But if you're somebody like Bill Jacobs who's doing iChat with his son is on the West Coast and he's on the East Coast, it's a great way to see your son with no extra charges. And this will be your walkthrough process.